Okay, I'd like to introduce her. She's November Canieso Yeo. I hope I pronounced that right. Or Yo is a social entrepreneur. She is the founder and CEO of the celebrates the growing of Philippine cinnamon with the processing and distribution of both natural and healthy food and non-food items to make small farmers, resellers, and Plantsville livelihood sustainable in the face of climate change and to ensure consumer health. She also leads the conservation of the Philippine cinnamon in Negros Occidental in partnership with ISF Farmers Federation in Don Salvador, Benedicto. She has over 12 years of managerial experience in sales, marketing, and business development in top 10 Philippine companies. She holds a master's degree, Master of Business Administration at the Asian Institute of Management, and graduated cum laude in economics at LaSalle. Her strong leadership skills, excellent communication, and interpersonal talents make her a well-rounded leader in her field. Her dedication to Philippine cinnamon has not only raised awareness about the endangered native cinnamon species, but has also promoted their use as a viable alternative to imported varieties. Through her work, she tackles not just conservation, but also livelihood, health, and climate change issues, making a positive impact in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, here to talk about our journey towards conservation, livelihood, health, and climate change adaptation, streaming live. Let's all welcome November Canieso Yo.
Magandang hapon po sa lahat. Ako po ay si November Canyasayo. I prepared a presentation. May I ask if you're able to see my screen? So, magandang hapon po sa lahat. Ako po ay si November Canyesuyo and I have appointed myself as the Chief Champion for the Philippine Cinnamon. So, my journey started when I was 16 years old. I was studying in LaSalle and it was 1990. I volunteered as a student in community extension program. And in LaSalle, we as volunteers, we worked on many issues. No, we educated students while educating ourselves in many issues like women, the problems of youth, national elections. But syempre, we also tackle the environment. I think it is at this time that I really learned more about the environment and developed a love for it. No? But also at the same time, I was a student of social entrepreneurship, and where I got exposed to different farmers in our province. So after I graduated, I applied for work in an NGO, and I was not accepted. As fate would have it, my first job was in UP Diliman as a researcher. And as a researcher, I went around the country and realized that the problems we saw in Negros is not actually confined there, but also exists all over the Philippines. But at the same time, we were in the College of Business. And in the College of Business, I got the reinforcement that business is really a force for social change. No? So when the offer to work in a bank came up, I took it. And for 7 years, I was a loans officer. I handled around 600 MSMEs. And there I learned how entrepreneurs cope. And I learned that it's really about consistency, showing up, and a faith that we'll be able to do our what we have set out to do. And then I got an offer to study at AIM, and later where I met Dr. Eduardo Morato, who was my mentor. and he was a guru in social entrepreneurship. I learned many things from him, and one of those is really to be true to our mission. I got invited to work in Globe Telecom. I wasn't ready to get into entrepreneurship at the time, but in Globe, I learned how to do ideation, and I also became comfortable with numbers, and I got comfortable also with using technology. So finally, in 2010 or 2011, I left Globe. I felt I was ready to take on entrepreneurship, so I moved back here in Bacolod. And then at the time, I went into many businesses, some social, some are not. But always, I knew that I wanted to find meaning in the business that I got into until I started gardening. And when I was gardening, I have a small garden. I said I will maximize it, so I will plant superfoods. And one of the superfoods that I found was cinnamon. And I had a blog at that time as well. And I saw that the cinnamon is superfoods. Many people know that already. But what I discovered was the Philippines, we had our own cinnamon. We have 21 species of cinnamon. And yet, I discovered that we import 95 to 98% of cinnamon. So sabi ko, ba't naman tayo kailangan mag-import? Eh, meron naman tayo. So hinanap ko yung cinnamon. Nagtanong-tanong ako, mabuti na lang, meron pala sa Negros. So I contacted my friend who was working at the Provincial Environment Management Office at tinuro niya ako sa Don Salvador Benedicto. When I told them that cinnamon, the local name is kaningag, sabi niya, oh, meron kami dito. So I went up to the farmers and I discovered na hindi pala nila alam na may cinnamon sila. Alam lang nila na may kaningag sila. Even when I talked to the mayor, who's very educated, he didn't know that they have cinnamon. So I talked to them that the cinnamon is a very important crop. Kasi that time, ginagawa nilang uling. Kasi syempre, livelihood nila yun eh. Maraming bumibili nun kasi syempre aromatic, masarap pang chicken inasal. So sabi ko, maybe we should know more about it. Can we, so I tried to raise funding from the local government unit kasi they said, sorry, the LGU had a program for the farmers. So I tried convincing the farmers, can we put the money for Philippine cinnamon? Kasi it's a high value crop. Una-una, medyo ano pa sila, medyo kinakabahan kasi yung presidente sabi niya sa akin, Day, if you take up the cinnamon, pag bibili ka ng cinnamon, maubos at maubos ang cinnamon dito sa DSB. And then I told her that we have to change our thinking. What if, kung bibili ako at magtatanim tayo, mas maraming farmers yung magtatanim kasi nga binibili. So, doon siya na-convince. Sabi niya, sige, let's plant cinnamon. Let's put the money in cinnamon. So I wrote the proposal. We were able to get the funding. And that is when I really started Plantsville Health. No? So nakita ko din na habang I talk about Plantsville in my blog, people got more interested. People started asking, do you have a seedling? Do you have seedlings? Can we buy? And then, nung marami nang bumili ng seedlings, sabi nila, do you have other products? So, other products naman. And then, when I know more about what's happening, aside from the business itself, no, I learned that we really are in a climate emergency. And the Philippines, with its 114 million population, is ranked number 1 in the World Risk Index. So, we have seen that tragedy. And the cinnamon as a tree is a very relevant crop, no, for climate change adaptation. I also learned that the most vulnerable during the climate change are the marginalized, like the farmers in Don Salvador Benedicto. They own about 3,000 to 5,000 pesos per month. And actually, this is true for all the 3 to 5 million smallholder farmers in the Philippines. Because of climate change, no, it makes eating more healthy eating more difficult for more Filipinos. Ngayon pa lang nakikita na natin yung organic, konti na lang yung gumagawa kasi nga yung soil hindi na masyadong mataba. So nilalagyan nila ng chemicals. But even with inorganic farming, we see a decline in healthy foods, no? And we can see this being shown by more people getting hypertensive. 1.5 of every 4 Filipinos is now hypertensive, and about 4 million Filipinos have diabetes already. But there's good news, no? The Philippines, as I've said, has 21 native species of cinnamon all over the country. The Philippines is at the gateway of the spice highway of Asia. The Philippines, as you know, is very rich in natural resources. And we have many native species, and I'm just talking about the Philippine cinnamon, which is really fat-burning, anti-hypertensive, and anti-diabetes. So, but at the same time, yung mga farmers, nakikita nila na dahil madali siyang itanim at binibili siya, and we don't have to cut the tree kasi leaves lang binibili namin because we distill it. Yon, they started really planting it na, no? So, we have gained traction over the years. At yung mga farmers na 350, dati inaapak-apakan lang nila yung cinnamon trees nila, yung cinnamon seedlings. Pero ngayon, sila na mismo nagpo-protect, no? Yesterday, I was talking to a lady na they were going to do a tree planting, and they asked the farmers what seedlings do they need. And she was really surprised. Sabi niya, bakit kayo lumabas yung cinnamon? And then she called me, "Oy, November, alam mo ba? Mas marami ng farmers yung gusto magtanim ng cinnamon." So, mabuti kasi I got another confirmation that more farmers are really now interested, no, to plant the Philippine cinnamon. We were able to save the 50 mother trees remaining at the time. And there are now, the farmers sowed 14,000 seedlings at the time when we started. And the PEMO also invested money to plant additional 10,000 seedlings. And about 10,000 are standing at the moment. So I'm really happy. In fact, in other towns pa and cities, nagsa-start na sila magtanim, no? Kahit wala pa kaming funding. So, kasi syempre nag-uusap sila yan, mga magkakamag-anak. So, I'm happy that the farmers have started liking the Philippine cinnamon as well. So, this is a picture of the farmers who have planted the Philippine cinnamon. And in social media, actually, I've seen also the interest of Filipinos on the Philippine cinnamon. Yung maganda dito, kasi because we were featured nga, Filipinos globally, natutuwa sila. So sabi nila, oh, we have Philippine cinnamon pala. So sabi ko, yes. And so I talk about it, and then they get amazed. We have 21 species pala, but hindi nila alam. Pero di ba, nung nag-aaral tayo, we know that the Philippines was colonized by Spain for spices. And one of these spices is the cinnamon, it's the Philippine cinnamon. We have to note pala that na-notice ko in the urban areas, nagugulat talaga sila na may cinnamon. Pero there's a group of people na never silang nag-stop gumamit ng Philippine cinnamon. And these are the indigenous people. Kasi yung mga indigenous people, yung cinnamon, ano nila yun gamot nila yun at pagkain. Pag naglalaga sila ng meats para mawala yung langsa, they put cinnamon. When they have a stomach ache, instead of looking for medicine, they run to the tree and chew on the bark to heal them. So I'm glad that more people are getting educated that we have the Philippine cinnamon, getting more aware that we have the Philippine cinnamon. So on our part naman, we were able to get the support of the Department of Department of Science and Technology. And we were able to find 7 species of cinnamon here in Negros. But I actually suspect that we have 21 species here because Negros is in the fly path ng birds when they migrate from Australia to China. And gustong-gusto ng mga birds yung buto ng cinnamon. And of course, they drop it along the way. And because Negros has a lot of mountains, this cinnamon freely grows in the mountains. So I suspect that I will find the 21 cinnamon species here. I'm also very fortunate that I was able to get the support of scientists, especially Dr. Doronila, who's also from Negros, Augustine Doronila. And he's our go-to scientist. Whatever science part of cinnamon, we ask him. So he's based in Australia. And we were able to find compounds like eugenol, linalool, and caryophyllene. By the way, linalool is a chemical that is also found in lavender that helps us sleep. So cinnamon can help us sleep. That's why we have the cinnamon massage oil and the cinnamon sleep aromatic water. We were also able to find the protocol how to propagate the seedlings through cuttings. Kasi 'di ba yung mga farmers nagtanim na sila nung 2016, 2017, 2018. At we have a hedge garden already. By cutting the leaves, we're able to plant it, and we're actually really poised to propagate in thousands. And I'm so happy that with this technology, we will be able to save the Philippine cinnamon. We were also able to develop products, no? Kasi I'm not a farmer, but I work with farmers, and sabi ko, my task is to find a market for the Philippine cinnamon, to educate and find a market for Philippine cinnamon. And instead of charcoal, we were able to develop 6 high-value products. So we have the cinnamon cocoa sugar, the cinnamon massage oil, the cinnamon sleep aromatic water, the cinnamon natural mouthwash, and the cinnamon moisturizer. And we actually have also gift packs that companies buy for, especially for people who don't need anything, but basically really want to support the advocacy. So right now we distribute the cinnamon cocoa sugar in the US and here in the Philippines, although we're still building our volume in the market. We are also actually in Marketplace, a premium grocery chain. So, and then we were able to put up our processing facility that is listed at the Food and Drug Administration in the US and in the Philippines, which enable us to export. So we're working on that right now. Oracle has also given us an ERP solution so that we can be aligned with international practice for good governance. So this is a picture of our distiller, the 100 kg distiller and our 200 kg distiller. We also have a 100 kg solar tunnel dryer because we have to dry the bark and the leaves before processing. So this is how our processing looks like. And we were also able to get a patent for the utility model on the Philippine cinnamon essential oil hydrosol and all the other products. So I'm happy that we were also able to sign up with Unilab, memorandum of agreement, to do product and market development. So parang alam mo yun, may kampante ako na when I talk to farmers, let's plant the cinnamon. It's a livelihood for you and I. May source of comfort ako na, okay, there are companies that are backing me. You were also able to develop a prototype for the cinnamon to be monitored. Kasi when I go to companies, they don't even ask how much it is. They ask, how much can you deliver? So it's very important that we know the supply. But at the same time, it gives a positive signal to the farmers na this is not just another tree planting activity. May kakambal siya na livelihood. So pag alam nila na minomonitor, okay, sinasabi nila, seryoso talaga yung mga taong to na bibili sila. And I'm happy to share that we have already signed a memorandum of agreement with the Negros Occidental province and from one pilot site with 7 barangays. We have already gone on to expanding to 3 towns with 11 barangays. And then with this memorandum of understanding, we would be able to expand the planting of the Philippine cinnamon in the 32 towns and cities in Negros. Um, I'm also working right now with Hadfafi. It's an NGO in Tarlac. And I'm so happy I was there late last year. We were able to find cinnamon in the forest that was previously covered by lahar. So alam niyo naman yung lahar, 'di ba? Walang tutubo. But after the volcano erupted in 1992, 'di ba? The Philippine cinnamon is already naturally growing in these mountains. And the lahar has changed the profile of the cinnamon, and their cinnamon really is very aromatic, and that is a sila lang yung naamoy ko na may floral na scent aside from the cinnamon. How does it taste? Imagine putting sampaguita or ilang-ilang in your cinnamon tea. So it's very, very beautiful. So we're also working towards planting the Philippine cinnamon at the Ilog Hilabangan River, which is covering 15 towns. And today we speak also with Negros Oriental because they're also interested to study the Philippine cinnamon and how they could incorporate it in the saving of the Ilog Hilabangan River. So quickly, our business model is on the planting of the trees. Hopefully, we will be able to find carbon offset customers so that there's incentive for farmers to keep the tree standing aside from selling their leaves and the bark while we process it. So we also hope to be able to get into more towns and cities, talking, consulting, learning about the Philippine cinnamon. So I'm happy to share that right now we are the largest group that has Philippine cinnamon in the country. Uh, it takes a village to do this. I have been working on this since 2016, 2017, and I'm really grateful that many organizations have stepped in to help. No, the academe, government, DTI, DOST, even volunteers, no, scientists, professionals. So I'm very grateful for their help. Um, right now, we have to tap into different reputable organizations, no, for them to get to know more about the cinnamon. From my experience, when they get to know about the Philippine cinnamon, they get really interested. I'm just lucky that a lot of people know about the cinnamon and they just really love it that we have our own species here in the Philippines that can be used for climate change adaptation, for livelihood, and for conservation, and especially for healthful products. So to end, we go back to the smallholder farmers now with social and technological innovation. We raise their awareness on what the Philippine cinnamon is and present opportunities. We try to encourage each and every Filipino to get the seedling, find the seedling in your town, plant it, use it, and talk about it so that we can reclaim our heritage, our natural heritage, which is the Philippine cinnamon. It can, during COVID, actually, hindi ako uminom ng gamot on the first week. So when I had the signs of coughing, fever, diarrhea, syempre cinnamon lang yung iniinom ko, okay naman ako. So maraming sakit na pinoproject nila na darating pa because of climate change. And with this very healthful tree in our home, kahit sa pot, pwede siyang itanim. We'll be able to heal ourselves and for many Filipinos, save money as well. We can use the tree to absorb carbon, to trap water in the soil, and to hold water so to prevent flooding. But at the same time, that we can harness this tree for livelihood of many Filipinos. So with that, thank you very much. And please help me talk more about the Philippine cinnamon. Maraming salamat po.